Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Trailhead Ranger NJ. And today we are doing this video where we will be explaining and learning about different types of relationships in Salesforce. So you might have heard more generally about lookup relationship and master detail relationship till now. If you have not, then this video is for you. And even if you have heard about lookup and master detail relationship and you have worked on it, it will be good for you to go through this video so that you can understand about more other types of relationship exist in Salesforce among objects, and if what are the scenarios where you can create those kind of relationships and how you can create those relationships, what are the advantages of these relationships. So we'll be covering all these in this video. So yes, let's get started. So first of all, what all topics we will be covering, that is lookup relationships, master detail relationships, comparison between master detail versus lookup relationship, many to many relationship, hierarchical relationship, external lookup relationship, indirect lookup relationship. Then if we talk about relationships, what exactly is relationship in Salesforce? So in Salesforce, relationships are used to establish connection between objects, so that we can define how data is linked between these two objects. In between where we are linking any kind of relationship among two objects, and these relationships help in creating meaningful associations between records and enable efficient data organization, reporting, and automation. Now we talk about what type of relationships do we have. So Salesforce provide various types of relationship to establish connection between objects, and each relationship type serves a specific purpose. Like they will have different requirement, different use case scenario, and that how the data will be connected among the objects. So at first we'll be talking about lookup relationship. So what exactly is lookup relationship? Lookup relationship in Salesforce is a type of relationship between two objects which allows you to link one object to another. But now you will think that all other relationship also does the same thing, that they will also allow to link one object to another. Yes, but there's a kick that lookup relationship allows one object to another object in a very simplified and in a flexible manner. We can use both the objects independently, even all together. We can access all the fields all together, but even independent as well. So in lookup relationship, a record of one object can reference a record from another object. Then what are the key points of lookup relationship? In lookup relationship, we have a one-to-one relationship. We can have one-to-one. If you know that we have another type of relationship in Salesforce, that is many-to-many. So if you talk about one-to-one, so we can refer lookup relationship as one-to-one relationship. So what exactly does it mean? It means that is each record in the child object can reference only one record in the parent object. So suppose you have create a relationship between account and opportunity, where opportunity is a child object and account is a parent object. So for each opportunity there will be only one account, so you can refer only one account for one opportunity. So here also one example is mentioned, that for an invoice record which can be linked to only one account record. So in this example, invoice record, that is invoice object, is a child object and account is a parent object. Then second key feature of lookup relationship is optional relationship. So later on we'll talk about master detail, but if you have a brief idea, you can know that master detail relationship is a very tightly coupled relationship. So unlike master detail relationship, it is a optional relationship. That is lookup relationship is optional, It does not allow, or sorry, it does not require the child record to always have a reference to the parent record. That is, both the child object and parent object can exist separately without having linked to one another. What I mean is, suppose we have a relationship between invoice and account object. Like we have created a field, but there is no necessary that on invoice record I want to link an account always. There might be some record on which I have linked the account, but there could be some records where I don't want to link an account. So it is not always required that child record will be having a reference of the parent record. So let's move forward. Then parent record can be deleted. So again, as it is not always mandatory, so we can delete parent record separately and child record separately. Unlike in master detail, if we want to delete parent record, we will have to delete child record as well. But in lookup relationship, that's not the case. Their identity, their existence of individuality matters. So if parent record want to exist alone or child record wants to exist alone, we can leave it separately. We don't have to delete both at the same time. The next feature is different from master detail. So obviously 2 point we have already covered that it is different from master detail relationship. But if we talk about clearly that parent child relationship where the child record is tightly coupled with the parent in master detail relationship. So if the parent is deleted, the child record is also need to be deleted. But in lookup relationship, they are more loosely coupled, so where the child record can exist independently of the parent. So that we have already covered. Now we talk about example of lookup relationship. So there are some standard objects which are already having standard fields which are linked to one another. So there is one lookup relationship which is already existing in your Salesforce developer orgs, that is between account and contact. So where is contact record is having, sorry, a contact object is having a lookup relationship with account. So where contact is a child record and account is a parent, and so each contact can be associated with one account only, but the contact record can exist even if the account is deleted. So that we have already learned. And yes, then another example we have for lookup relationship is case and user. So in this case, sorry, in this scenario, case is a child object. So for each case we should have a user, we should have a user, so representing the owner of the case, where case is now a child object and user is a parent object. Next, if we talk about some use cases or scenarios that where to use lookup relationship. So if you want to link any two objects but you don't want to require a strict parent child relationship, that is if you want to have the freedom to delete either parent or child record independently without having the dependency of them on each other, then you can use lookup relationship. And you can use lookup relationship even when the child object can exist independently. And if you want to create a reference to another record without the additional functionality of master detail relationship. So what other additional functionality we are talking about here, we will cover that while we will be discussing about master detail relationship. So yes, then, if we talk about advantages of lookup relationship, it is flexible, as we have learned that both the object can exist independently. They can they can be deleted without having the dependency on each other, and even the creation of it is not very strict. So it's flexible, simple to set up, allows for optional connections between record, and can reference both standard and custom objects. So you can create a lookup relationship between any of the objects, that is either standard or custom. Means it can be created between standard to standard, custom to custom, and even standard and custom. So yeah, now let's come to master detail relationship. So a master detail relationship in Salesforce represents a parent child relationship very strictly. In Lookup also we consider the term parent and child, but it is not as strict as master detail. So in master detail, where the child represent record depends entirely on the parent record, and it is referred as tightly coupled relationship between two objects. The key points of master detail relationship is dependency. That is, the child record, which is also known as the detail record, cannot exist without the parent record. That is the master record. And if the parent or master record needs to be deleted, then all of its child record should be deleted before deleting the parent record. So it is also known as cascade delete. Then sharing and security. The child record inherits the sharing and security settings of the parent record. So, like suppose whatever the hierarchy or sharing setting is having the parent record or parent object in this case, then the child recorder object will be inheriting that setting automatically. So you can't restrict that easily. And there is no independent sharing rules for the child object. Then roll up summary. So the additional feature which we were talking about in lookup relationship, that are not part of the lookup relationship but in master detail it exists, it is roll up summary fields. So there is a feature in master detail relationship. On the parent object you will get the option to create a roll up summary fields, which will allow you to calculate values like sum, average, minimum, maximum, or even count all of the related child records. So that's the feature you will get only in master detail relationship, not in lookup relationship. Ownership. In case of master detail relationship, the parent record is the owner of the child record automatically. You can't change that. But in case of lookup relationship, that's not the case. As I mentioned, that it can exist independently, and the child record does not need to have it owner to be a parent record only. But in case of master detail, the child record does not have its own separate owner field. Required relationship. So yes, in as we discussed earlier, in case of lookup relationship, that is, if even for a contact, like in case in example of account and contact, if in contact we want to leave the field of account empty, that is, we don't want to create a relationship of a contact with an account, then that's fine. But in case of master detail, that's mandatory. That field should be populated. That is the required scenario. It is always mandatory. Next, again, some of the examples which are already existing in Salesforce developer orgs as a master detail relationship. One of the example is order and order items. So, where order item is a child object and is dependent on the order object, which is considered as a parent object. They are having master detail relationship among each other, and so if an order is deleted, its related order items needs to be deleted as well. Similarly, similar relationship we are having with invoice and line items. So line item is a child object and invoice is a parent object there. Next, the scenario or use case, if you must say, where we should use master detail relationship. So, whenever we want to create a relationship where a object need to have its all child objects having multiple records. So, we will take an example for this. Suppose there we are having a product, and it product needs to have all of its child products in its record itself. So I'll take an example. Suppose we are having a uh, car of any company. That company wants to have all of its model uh, in their record only as a child items, as a child records. So there we will be needing master detail relationships. So here also same thing has been mentioned, that when we want to create a product record where each product contains multiple product items. So here our product is car, and multiple product items are cars model, or we can say product can be one model of the car and multiple product items are different color of that particular model of the car. So parent object would be product and child object would be product item. And relationship would be product items are dependent on product, like child object is product item, so it will be dependent on product. So deleting product will need to delete all the product items as well. Now, if we want to create a master detail relationship, what steps do we need to follow? So, if you are done with your admin certification or PDI or platform app builder, these this is the very common thing for you. You can skip it and move to the next, or you can means just have the video up for a few minutes. But I'll just quickly explain to the folks who are new to Salesforce. So in from setup, you can go to the object manager, and whatever object you want to keep or consider as a child object, you can select that object and then click on field and relationships tab on the left side. Then click on new button on top right side and select master detail relationship as the data type from the list on the page coming up. And it will give you option or the drop down to select the parent object. You can select the parent object from there. Then you can select the field properties, like what should be its label, its visibility, on which page layout it should be if we are having multiple page layouts for a child object. Then you can add it to the page layout, and then you can save and deploy. So let's move. Now, what are the advantages of a master detail relationship? So first is data integrity. So it ensures that the child records are always associated with the parent records. So obviously it is having its pros as well as its cons. So con is all of course that it needs to be deleted altogether. But also it's a pro that all records are associated with their parent record. Then roll up summary field, which provides aggregation functionalities such as sum, average, maximum, minimum, count. Then next is cascading effect. That is the deletion which we just discussed, that the deletion of parent records ensure the cleanup of related child records. Limitation is restricted ownership. That is, the child record cannot have a separate owner. Deletion rule, that is deleting the parent automatically deletes all child records. And record count limit, that is roll up summary fields are limited to certain calculations and counts. You must be wondering that this deletion rule is considered as advantage as well as limitation. So of course in some scenarios it is required that we want that when we want to delete the parent record, all of its child record should be deleted automatically, and we shall save our manual efforts. But in some of the scenarios where we don't want to delete all of its child record, only either some of the child record or none of the child record, then also it will be deleted there as well. So there it is considered as a limitation. So basically it is depending on your business requirement or your use case scenario, that if it is a pro or if it is a con. Then if we move forward, so far we have discussed about two relationship, that is master detail and lookup relationship. And if we want to discuss what is the difference between them, so obviously you can also tell it by now, that first is in master detail child cannot exist without the parent, but in lookup child can exist separately. Then in master detail relationship, cascade deletion is there. That is, whenever we want to delete the parent record, then child record should also be deleted automatically. But in lookup, that's not the case. In master detail, inherits parent sharing setting is there. That is, a child record or child object will be having all the sharing setting, sharing rule related to the parent object. But in lookup, independent sharing rule will be followed on the child object and child records. Then the next is in master detail, roll up summary field or roll up summary feature is supported, but in lookup we don't have such feature or field support available. So yeah. Then next relationship is many to many relationship. So as its name suggests that many record of an object can be connected to many record of another object. Earlier we had discussed that one to one relationship can be called of lookup relationship. Now we are talking about many to many relationship. So many to many relationship allows records from two objects to be associated with each other in a bidirectional way. So what does it mean? That is, in lookup, we were saying that one is child object, that is contact is a child object, and it should have or it can have one account linked to it, right? But in many to many, either if account and contact is having many to many relationship with each other, then account can also have contact as a child, and and the contact is also can have account as a child. So this relationship is implemented using a junction object which acts as a bridge between the two objects. So the previous two relationship we can create directly to one another, but to create many to many relationship we have to create a you can say middleman or mediator object which is called as junction object, which will maintain the relationship between object number 1 to the object number 2. Then what are the key points of many to many relationship? First is bidirectional relationship. So that is each record of object A can be associated with multiple records of object B and vice versa. Uh, the thing I just said, like multiple records of an object can be associated with multiple records of other object. Second point is junction object. So a custom object is created to establish the relationship between the two objects, and the junction object contains two master detail relationship, one for each of the objects being related. So junction object we will create, that is a custom object we will create to have the relationship between object A and object B, and it will be having master detail relationship with both of the object. So when we create this object, we will create two fields on this junction object. One field, suppose say field number 1 will have master detail relationship with object A, and another field also be having master detail relationship with object number B. So yeah, then cascade effects. Obviously when master detail relationship is present, then cascade effect will be there. So deleting a record in the parent object, that is object A, and another side on object B, cascades to the related junction object records, because junction object will be acting as a child object in case of master detail relationship with object A and object B. Then fourth point is roll up summary. Again, as master detail relationship is available, so the roll up summary field feature and functionality is also available. So the roll up summary fields can be created on both parent objects, that is object A, and again on object B as well. Now let's talk about example of many to many relationship. So these are not necessary that it will exist or it is existing in Salesforce, but these are the some use case or scenarios which you can learn, or you can understand to understand the concept in real life scenario, so you can know that where to create the many to many relationship. So if suppose in case of students and courses, a student can enroll in multiple courses, and a course also can have multiple students enrolled as well. Even these data can be same. And means suppose I am having student number 1 is enrolling into course A, course B, and course C. But now if we talk about course A, then student 1 will be there, but it is also can have student 2, student 3, student 4. So in that case, we need to have a junction object to create a many-to-many relationship. Another example is projects and employees. Again, a employee can work on multiple projects, and a project also can have a multiple employees. And similarly about products and campaigns, a product can be part of multiple campaigns, and a campaign can feature multiple products as well. Let's move on. So now when we are talking about some use case scenario that when to use many to many relationship. So suppose you are having a company who wants to track which defects are related to which cases. So there are some defects available in your company, and there are some cases opened as well. So how you want to track them, but you are not able to do so. So how you can do that. So the obviously for from this scenario you can understand that there is one again from the previous slide. If we want to understand it, one defect can be attached to multiple cases, based on some features or some based on some other feature, some business requirement. It can be attached to multiple cases, and one case can have multiple defects as well, right? So these will be both the parent objects, and we need to create another custom object, that is case defect. So case is already a standard object exist in your will be existing in your org. You can create a custom object and then link it to both the objects, that is defects, which will be a custom object, and case, which is a standard object. Then relationship setup, obviously just what we just talked about, that create a junction object called case defect and establish two master detail relationship with case as one parent and another one defect as the parent. So okay, now already we have discussed, I'll just do it quickly, that how we can create a many to many relationship. We can go to setup object manager, then click on create custom object from top right, and name, you can give any name, but from our previous example we'll be giving it the name as case defect. Then we will go to the left tab from fields and relationship, then click on new, and then we'll be clicking on radio button of master detail relationship. Then we'll move forward and select the parent as case. Then we'll save it and follow the same procedure for another master detail relationship, but consider the parent as defect. So obviously defect is not a standard object. So if you have not already having the your other parent object in your or even both the parent in your so you know you need to create that both of the custom objects first. Then we can add the related list for the junction objects in both the parents, and save it and test it out with the data. Now what is the advantages of many to many relationship? First is flexibility. It allows us complex relationship to be modeled between objects. Data aggregation, as it is having involvement of master detail relationship, so roll up summary fields can summarize related data. Then reusability, a junction object can be reused for other relationships if needed. If we are having some other scenario where lookup relationship or any other kind of relationship is required, we can use it for that as well. Limitations, record deletion, again as master detail is there, so record deletion is also there. Then complexity, managing a junction object adds an extra layer of complexity. And roll up summary limit, the same limitation from master detail. Yes, we are concluding this video with three relationship as part of this video, that is lookup relationship, many to many relationship, and our master detail relationship. So it's becoming a very long video. So I'll just consider this as a part 1. I'll upload it as a part 1, and in our next video we'll be covering other three relationship. So yeah, if you like it and learn something from this video, please like it, subscribe the channel, and let me know in the comment section what other topics you want me to make video on, or if there is any trailhead badge, trailhead module, or anything you want me to cover related to Salesforce. Please let me know in the comment section, and thank you. Stay tuned.